What's up guys, welcome back to Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. First things first, that's how the encounter meter should be, stuck on whatever phase it is until you start moving. It won't increase unless you're moving. So, yeah. Which is kind of useful, kind of, I don't know. I might get a random encounter. No? Huh. Could have sworn that was going to trigger. There's another one of the trolls, by the way. Little things in games. I love little things. Just adding details to shit, you know. Right, definitely going to run encounter now. Still only orcs, so not much of a problem, really. As you can see, I'm all healed up because I used the save point. So yeah, you always want to attack the guys with staffs or with standards first, because they usually cause the most damage, and if they don't cause the most damage, they will buff their allies. The worst thing ever is when they fucking heal each other, because fights take so much longer than they should have to. Let's use Guardian Strike, he's only got a little bit. So yeah, enemies at this stage of the game are they're trash, you know. They're not even worth considering as threats, except for the standard bearers and the healers and all that crap. Because they're not threatening, but they can be if they're left unchecked. You know? Get rid of them as fast as you can. Like any RPG, really, you always take out the thing that either causes the most damage or buffs its allies. Or at least that's how my mind processes it. You may have different priorities. I know this seems kind of pointless, the piercing might, because it is at this stage, but it costs half the amount that aim shot does. And my main triple critical. Oof. By the way, that's a thing in this game. You haven't just got criticals, you've got double criticals and triple criticals, which blows my mind. It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it does make sense, it's just, it seems pointless, you know, because usually a critical is enough to make you go, ah, great. The RNG god is on my side, as you would say. Well, as I would say, because I could be a bit of a bellend sometimes. Let's give myself some more dexterity, because I have fallen in a trap before where I've just kept pumping strength with Bearafor, where he was super strong, he'd one hit guys, but he'd only hit like once every 3 times, which isn't great. Which is probably why I grew to dislike him, because he kept missing, wasn't really much use, except for in boss fights where it doesn't matter if you miss. Well, it does matter a bit, but it doesn't. I used him mostly for his buffing abilities first couple of times, using Company Might, Company Valor, that type of shit. Increasing strength, speed, defense, resisting stun. Oh, this is fun. They are very generous. I think I've said that before with the save points. It makes sense here because it's just a rush of enemies, you know. So yeah, you've got these two at the front. And they'd like to do this in this game where they put guys out of reach of your melee fighters, so you have to rely on people with ranged skills. I think everyone's got a ranged skill except for one of the characters later on, which we'll get to when we get to her. But Bearafor's way of getting around it is later on anyway, he gets abilities that let his teammates do one additional attack each for free. They don't get any skill points for it, but it does mean you can attack people that are far away with this guy who's got a sword and a shield and can't physically do it unless he grew rings. But that would raise some questions, wouldn't it? Well, more than a couple, I think. Let's see. Do I have to actually save the game to get a health boost? Or can I just enter the save game menu? No, you've got to actually save the fucking game. Oh well. This playthrough is going to be harder than any I usually do. I'm going to try and skip saving for the most part, just so just to cut the video length down, because it takes a solid couple of minutes. Now, let's exaggerate a bit. It takes at least a minute though to save. But you know, this is a PS2, so you've got to cut it some slack. These guys ain't shit anyway, they're just rabble for the most part. I might run back to the save point later on when I need the final gang, I suppose is the word. Or maybe I won't, maybe I'll just use some Limbus. It's not like I usually use it later on anyway. So, fuck it, I'll just attack Idriel. And I missed. Ugh. That's another thing as well, because Idriel's going to be mostly a caster, I'm going to put most of her points in spirit and speed. Which means when she does have to attack with her sword, she's probably going to miss every single time. Come to think of it, I might not have to save, because the level ups will give me extra SP and health, so... Ah, fuck's sake, because Idriel missed, she counts as not having done anything in that battle. So she got half as much experience, which is, I think you'll agree, horseshit. Oh well. Idriel's quite tough actually at this point when it comes to resistances, because she's got fire and water resistance, which I think you'll find fire is probably the most common type of spiritual attack that the orcs and orcs and goblins and you name it, you know, tend to do. And she's only weak against slash, which granted ain't great because there are quite a lot of guys that wield swords, but you know, at least her defensive stuff ain't in blunt because there's so few enemies that use blunt. In fact, I think the only enemies that do use blunt are trolls, and their strength is so high they do a lot of damage regardless of if you're resistance to blunt or not. Ugh. Resistance. I meant resistant. You guys know that. Me English speak good. I think this will be the final mob. So, yeah, they've got the veterans now, you see. Oh, no, my mistake. All these orcs, they got the same to me. As you can see, there's different colour for the names. Green is shit tier. Blue is not great, but not shit tier. So, you know, if you ever want to just attack the highest level guy, that's always a good indicator. If you want to, if that's your policy to attack the highest, biggest threat, they tend to label it that way. But, you know, make your own decisions. Also, another reason why Eregion is great, he's your dedicated scan. Isengard's better trained warriors are sent north to raid all lands near Isengard, attacking men and elves alike. Proper shit, they've got no weaknesses, but they've got no strengths, so, you know, bog standard enemy. Not a lot of hellfire, I think it was 165. So yeah, Eregion can take him out in one attack. Which I suppose... I have leveled up his strength a bit, so... If I remember rightly, there should be a cutscene after this. Yeah.
What are you doing?
You want to be sure they're good and dead. Some are mighty hard to kill.
Yeah, not these ones.
Not even these sacred places are safe.
How do I know I can trust this one?
I vouch for him. In the name of the Lady of the Galadrim.
That is good enough for me.
And how do I know I can trust you? Where did you get those wounds?
At the hands of a Mordor orc, whose life I intend to shorten considerably. In the pass of Gahadras, we were attacked by goblins. We slew all but the orc, who escaped with something of great value to me.
Who is this wee ranger?
I was in the company of a dwarf. A friend, actually.
And what did this orc take from you?
You helped me slay him, and you shall find out.
You rangers from the north are full of riddles. And who are you to speak for a ruler of elves?
You must help me return to Lothlorien and warn the Lady Galadriel of these dangers. Then you will know all.
We should find one of the enemy's altars. After what I did to him, that orc would be in need of healing himself.
Come, Gondorian. We shall attend to my matters in due course.
See, Eregion, in every single cutscene you see him in, he's wiping down his sword. Elfstones, they're basically just... they're like rings, you know, in a sense. They're not rings, but they're like rings in the sense that you can equip them to anyone and it'll work. Anyone can equip them. They're not character specific like armor and stuff. So yeah, Eregion never uses a fucking sword in the game, except for in cutscenes where apparently he always always uses one. What was that? Adds AP, so yep, Eregion's getting that. And also that cutscene is full of bollocks, because these guys have been fighting with each other for like, what, 15 minutes in game? 20 minutes maybe? And only now they're like, how could I trust you? How could I trust you? I mean, I get having that conversation, it makes sense. You want to make sure the person you're fighting with has got your back. But, you know, have that scene at the beginning instead of fucking halfway through the first level, once they've already had a good time to reasonably get to know each other, you know?
What happened back there in the past?
Ah, backstory time.
It was a bewitched fight, voices echoing down from the mountains. Then lightning struck all around us. The dwarf fought like one possessed, but a landslide carried him away.
Ah, good old dwarfs.
Before he fell, he gave me a map, presented to him by Elrond of Rivendell as a gift of friendship. But I could not withstand the dark powers that ruled the mountain that night. While I lay there burning, that Mordor orc ripped the map away and fled down the mountain. That map revealed the location of the secret entrance to a forgotten realm.
Moria.
Yes, the greatest city of the dwarves, whose location was lost during the Great Wars, and whose halls are rumored to still be stalked by a terrible monster.
And what of the dwarf?
If that map leads us to Moria's hidden gate, I expect we shall find him nearby. It would take more than a few goblins to stop that dwarf.
So yeah, basically, in case you didn't get it, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you guys are intelligent enough to understand that he was basically fighting in the path of I'm not even going to bother trying to say it, but where Gandalf and Nut got hit by the avalanche, he was fighting in the same pass, but obviously at a different point, and just got caught up in Saruman being a dick. And one thing I didn't understand about this was Hadward gets given a map to Moria, and they say how, there's no way you can find this place otherwise. Gimli knew where it was. The dwarves know where it is. They know where it is. They don't need maps and shit. I mean, I can't remember. I think it was Balin who went there, wasn't it? So maybe it's just because it was Gimli's uncle, cousin, some family member. So that might be the reason why Gimli knew where it was, but, you know, I have to think that the dwarfs would know where their kingdoms are, even if the realms of men and elves forget. I think I said this already, but I haven't read the books. Someone feel free to correct me in the comment section. I will take your words and probably not ignore them. It depends how douchey you are when you say it. If you're nice about it, then yeah, sure, I'll listen and I'll be like, oh cool, thanks for educating me. But if you're a dick about it, then you can fuck off. I keep hearing someone at my door. I'm getting paranoid. You might not be able to catch it on the mic. Maybe it's all in my head, who knows. So have we got the veteran warriors yet? Nope, still just shit tier enemies. I'm waiting, but you'll be able to tell when we get to the veteran ones because they've got 2 swords instead of a sword and a shield. So yeah. I'm going to use a king's foil. Not because I need to, but because I need everyone to take an action so they all get experience. Because it still blows my mind that Idriel missing with an attack counts as her not doing anything. When this game was brand new, I was super excited for it. So much so that I bought the official strategy guide with it. Are those still a thing? Strategy guides? I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've actually seen one or wanted to buy one. But when I was younger, when this first came out, the reason I wanted to buy the strategy guide didn't have fuck all to do with wanting to beat the game. It was because it came with a bunch of cards with each of the enemies on it that you could pull out. And I wanted all the cards with, like, I was about to say an enemy type we fight later. I've decided not to because that would be quite a big spoiler probably, but you've got like all these different orcs and goblins and shit printed on cards with their stats and shit, which is pretty cool. Couldn't really do anything with them, but I wanted them anyway. I mean, it's not like there was a card game or anything, it was just, oh look, we printed out all this useful information in these cards, which I would look at occasionally. I know the weaknesses of bosses. It doesn't help too much to know the weaknesses and resistances. You learn pretty fast what they're resistant to anyway, so you learn not to do it. I mean, it's pretty obvious what their weaknesses, what their weaknesses are too when you get them. It just happens quite rarely. Because the weaknesses in this game tend to be elemental ones rather than water or fire. If it was water or fire, it wouldn't be a problem. But, you know, I'm just going to save the game quick, so this will take a minute. Let's time this. Let's see. Right, now. About 20-25 seconds. I could have kept better track, but I didn't. I apologise, especially since I was just quiet all that time. How dumb of me. Wait, did I just go backwards? I did, didn't I? Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. Sorry guys. The transitions between zones aren't as long as I thought they would have been. I remember... might have been because I was a kid at the time, but it seemed a lot longer. I think I just had a very short attention span. In fact, I'm pretty sure I still do have a short attention span. Just I'm better at hiding it now. Didn't I get some new equipment? Health enhancement. I'll give that to Idriel as well, because she's a bit weak right now when it comes to health, because I haven't been pumping it. And then again, 490, 412... Yes, well, she's the weakest of the three, so... gives a solid 40 boost. She's still the weakest health-wise, but at least now she's got a bit more durability, I guess. Is the right word, I suppose. This will be the third Altar of Light. I think this one introduced the Orc veterans, because they've got twin swords, and they've got weird looking... They've got darker skin and dark red eyes. Let's see here. Veteran. Yep. Can't really see the eyes. But you can see he's a little bit darker than the regular warrior. So yeah. Take out the Shefton first, as always, because shadow attacks tend to be strong against everyone, and I think he uses them. So I'm just going to regular attack him, because otherwise Eregion won't get a turn for like 5 years. I exaggerate, but you know what I mean. I'm really not 100% sure if I prefer this method to the active time battle gorges, but I do like to see what order my guys are going to attack in, because it does help decide what attacks to use and whether to... Oh, my headphones have fallen off. Give me a sec, guys. That does give me a sec. Helps me to decide whether or not it's worth using a certain attack. Like aim shot it's great, it's more powerful, but it takes him quite a bit longer to recover. I think it's probably the right way of using it. Company Valor. Yeah, fuck it. Might as well. Idriel's got the next turn anyway, and Barrowford gets an extra turn, so I need to heal up Eregion, because otherwise he will likely die. No, it'd be bad. Because if they're, pretty sure if they're dead at the end of the battle, that's it. You've got no experience for them at all. So it'd be bizarre to get even half experience when the character's lying, knocked unconscious, isn't it? Aim shot. This should finish it. So, as you can see, my little gorge in the bottom right is filled up. That's my perfect meter, which I think I discussed last time. I can't remember if I did or not. But it's basically like your limit break and your trance attacks, or your shit. Again, it eludes me what they're called in Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy... I can't remember what's called in Final Fantasy 12 either. Or Final Fantasy 13. I don't think there was a limit equivalent in Final Fantasy 13, was there? You just had the summons, didn't you? Didn't you? Shit, I really don't know. I didn't like Final Fantasy 13. I didn't take a lot away from it. It didn't put me off buying Final Fantasy 13 Part 2, but I got like a third through that game before I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done. I didn't even get the new Final Fantasy that came out recently. What was it, Type 0? Up until Final Fantasy 13 Part 2, I'd never hesitated to buy Final Fantasy. But Final Fantasy 13 Part 2 was like, no, this hasn't improved. I don't like this. And if they announced Final Fantasy 13 Part 3, and I was just like, no, I'm not even touching it. I got some new equipment, didn't I? Water protection. Who's weak against water? Let's see. No one is. I will equip it to Idriel again. Just because. She's already quite strong. Ah, fuck it. I'll give it to you, I suppose. Because, yeah. There's a boss coming up. I think you can guess who it is, but I won't spoil it. Who will be using a lot of water attacks. Yeah, the bugs. There's one other place in the game where that bug, where the random battle gorge, gorge, I don't know, fills up regardless. Do excuse me for a moment, sorry. And yeah, that sucks. So you've got this perfect mode. At the moment, you've got arrow volley, which attacks everyone with a bunch of arrows. It's not worth using in regular fights unless you're getting proper overround, save for bosses. So yeah, we've got veterans appearing in normal battles now. I can't remember if the standard bearer was a big threat or not. I think he just buffs his allies, which isn't really good for me, so I'm just going to get rid of it now first. I'm going to go over this again in every single fight I'm in. I'm just going to tell you why I'm doing what. So yeah, Company Valor might get some of the enemy to miss. So yeah, Overdrive. Overdrive is what it's called in Final Fantasy X. Oh, I'm happier than I should be. That just came to me then all of a sudden. It was quite weird. I do apologise. What was I saying? Yeah, yeah, I'll likely tell you what order I'm going to attack guys in, just because I want to let you go. Nice go. I am very sorry. But yeah, as I was saying, I want you guys to know what my thought process is when I'm fighting. I just killed the wrong guy. Shit. Oh well. It says power. Oh, I was meant to attack the other one. Ah, that's all good. I just learnt counter attack, so that'll be useful. More so later on, when I'm attacking, fighting with much stronger dudes. That should finish this fight off. Because now every time I get, well, you know what counter attack is. It's in almost every RPG ever. So just means whenever I get attacked, there's a chance my Bearfor in particular will counter attack. That's why you got to pump his strength up, because that's where his strength gets proper. You know. Where's King's Foil leaves? Probably shouldn't use that one again. You do get a lot of King's Foil in this game. There's an elf stone later on that lets you craft items in battle. Have I turned myself around again? I really hope I haven't, because no, I can't have done. I must be going the right way. Yeah, there's a save point up there. I'm good. So just gonna go to right here and get all the treasure chests to spy the abandoned ships. Pretty sure there's a trap in one of them. You know, with enemies. It must be this one. Yep. Guessing orcs again. Might be a warg. No, it's orcs. Ship tier orcs as well, so for fuck's sake. I'm gonna use Leaves of Lembas. I can't because I don't have any. Shit, I'll just use Lembas Leaves and Lembas on Elegist. The Ranger. I've always wanted to be a Ranger. That was meant to be Jon Snow. I do realise it was terrible. Please forgive me. I'm not good at impressions. I will try to do them occasionally and hopefully make you laugh at a failed attempt. Yeah. That attack is a bitch, isn't it? Thankfully it weren't against Bearfall, because Bearfall's got really crap defense against Shadow. In case you're wondering why, that is a plot point. And we will find out later why he's so weak against Shadow. We will get an Elf Stone eventually, that'll remedy it anyway, so... I really should have saved before coming here, just to get all my health and shit back. Oh, hindsight's 20/20, yeah. I didn't even know there was 4 guys, I thought there was only 3. Yeah, they're shit tier enemies, the extra one that I missed anyway, so... Pretty sure one attack from either Bearfall or Eregion will ripen the fuck out. Shit, when was this game released anyway? Looking at the back of the case quick, sorry, bear with me. 2004! It's not bad, really, for 2004. Or maybe it is, and I'm just biased, because like I'm not going to lie, this is one of my favourite games of all time. Because it's Final Fantasy X, but with a Lord of the Rings skin. Yeah. Like I said, I've not... that's going to be a catchphrase as well. Like I said, I've never read the Lord of the Rings books. I tried once, it just was quite slow paced, and I couldn't get into it. So I didn't finish it. I think I got like a third of the way through Fellowship of the Ring. I got a third of the way through Fellowship of the Ring, and thought, nah, it's too slow paced. And the reason why I like Lord of the Rings a lot is I started Warhammer. Super nerdy of me, I know. But I didn't do Warhammer 40k or the fantasy one. I did Lord of the Rings Warhammer. And that's what got me into it. And that's where most of my knowledge of the Lord of the Rings universe came from. Is because all the books you had to buy for the rules and shit, well, you didn't have to buy them, I suppose, but you were encouraged to. Because, you know, that's how Games Workshop makes their money, by you buying shit from them. And it worked. Shit's a bit extreme, because if you like the game, you need the rule book, really. I think it's dumb that they make you pass a test before you're allowed to play games in the shop. But apparently you do. Or you did at my branch, which was I won't say, actually, because probably better off not saying. Just gonna save here. But yeah, I learned a lot from just reading the descriptions of the units, and the army I collected was Gondor, because, you know. Why's that happened? Ooh. Sorry. But yeah, the reason that's happened is something. I collected Gondor, and what I did was I painted all of my dudes' shields bright orange, just so that at the end of a night, well, not night, evening or afternoon or morning or wherever the fuck I was playing, I'd know which figures were mine, because I was paranoid about mine either getting stolen or picked up by someone by mistake. So yeah, bright orange shields, and I got taken the piss out of by all the other dudes in the room for having orange shields on my fucking on my dudes. And I was like, well, fuck this, and that's what eventually made me give up the hobby. Is people taking the piss out of me painting shields orange. I was crap at the game anyway, so it's no big loss. So yeah, same old deal as ever. I'm taking out the Shepperton first. Probably should have healed rather than do that. Oh well. And yeah, I've got to go to the skill menu after this, because I think Bearfall learned a new attack, didn't it? Company mine, because, you know, get myself some SP on here. Now, see, if I was playing this game and I weren't having it recorded, I would literally just have Idriel heal while Bearfall kept using Company Might until they were both out of AP. Just so they'd have some more, well, have a head start on the skills, but for later on. So, yeah. I've got to level up Eregion now, fun times. Reclaim Elrond's map. Nope, go away. Found all artifacts. let's see here. Quests. Eregion. Find Hadhood the Dwarf. Right. So he's going to be my next party member, by the way. Hadhood the Dwarf. Now he's going to be our tank. Trust me. So, yeah, let's level these guys up. Give you an extra point of spirit and constitution, fuck it. I like nice round numbers, people, and I know it's not optimum, but, you know, well, you don't know, but I need to explain things instead of just saying, oh, you know. Now, armour enhancement, yeah, it couldn't hurt. But yeah, I just like having nice round numbers, man. It just makes me feel good. Arrows of sleep, cool. Once I've got arrows of sleep, he can learn whatever the fuck he wants, because, you know, it doesn't really matter after that. That's the crucial skill for him. Crucial skill for Berefor is probably his ultimate skill, Gondor Rampage, because it's pretty fucking cool. Fuck it, I'll learn Citadel Rage and then Urukai Bane. Or, no, Aphelion Wrath, then Urukai Bane, because, yeah. Speaking out loud, I do a put. Well, no, well, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Ugh. You know, maybe I'll never get the hand, not a hand, the hand of this talking lark. I hope to make a living out of this, and at the rate this is going, it probably won't happen. But I'll stick to it until people start complaining in the comments, or maybe a bit longer than that, because you know people are always going to complain, especially trolls that make people want people to quit because of them. They're probably their ultimate goal. Let's get someone to quit doing what they're doing just by being horrible cunts. I hope you don't mind that word, people, because I will use it to describe some things. See what I mean? These save points are super generous. I've been playing... Oh shit, what was I playing? Dark Souls 2 recently. And Scholar of the First Sin. And the bonfires are closer apart than they should be, but they're nowhere near as generous as these old games, man. These old games are super generous. You know, I like it, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. I'm actually going to stop the video right now, because I've gone over half an hour long, and I'm sure you guys want these in nice chunks. So, goodbye, guys. I'll speak to you again next time.